Welcome to Martini Time. Beautiful day here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world, but then you too are at the center. My throat always clogs up when I excuse me. Title of this talk is excuse me. Can't talk. The title of this talk is The Making of Saint Blasey. It's in the news. The tension. Is the professor going to show up? What's going to happen? What we're watching as this draws out is the making of a social icon or metaphor. Let's look at this. Let's explain. Okay. The Republicans are caught in a sting here. A sting is damned if you do, damned if you don't. Or a sting is the creation of a double bind where you're trapped through your own inertia. It's kind of like judo. You know, just the inertia of your opponent trips them. So the GOP's inertia, their rush to get the guy on the Supreme Court has created a sting. Now the sting is whether, if this Professor Blasey, if she shows up, whether there is an FBI investigation or not, and she speaks from her heart, and she is believable, why would she submit herself to this grand inquisition? It reminds me of the Middle Ages with the Grand Inquisitor, these clerics, and the witch who's been, the woman who's been accused of witchcraft, lying, is brought before them. And there's no court here. There's no lawyer or judge or evidence or anything. It's just, are you innocent or guilty? You know, in other words, she has no way to prove her innocence except by just speaking her word. You know, so that's kind of like, and so from the way it's set up, she's going to be crucified no matter what, because she is put up against a honorable man whose integrity cannot be doubted, you see. So she's coming there as the witch who has to prove, when she can't prove her truth, you see. So it's a trap. And yet, the GOP is caught in a trap. Because if they refuse her and deny her a chance to speak her word, that's a repeat of the attempted rape, where the accused pinned her down and tried to rape her and held his hand over her mouth. Do not speak. And now she's speaking. And the same guy, if he is the one who did it, is trying to hold his hand over her mouth, you see. This is the perfect metaphor that can be taken and used as a political hammer against the GOP. You know, like with Elizabeth Warren, when she was not allowed to speak. What was it? I persisted. You know, she persisted. You know, so the whole thing in this woman's movement is about speaking, being able to speak. For the woman to be able to speak her word without being discounted, without being denied, without being put down, shamed. Shamed is a big one. Shamed, made to feel guilty, burned at the stake, you see. Because the witches were trapped in a sting because they had a lot of methods for proving a woman was a witch, which basically was a woman who didn't stay in her place. And so they would, if you under torture, if you confessed, your death would be quick. If you didn't confess, it would be long and painful. Now choose. But anyway, so this is kind of like we're watching a national power play here. And mark my words, she will become, if she appears and speaks her truth from the heart. Otherwise, why would she do this, you see? If she speaks her truth, which is basically what she needs to do in order to take back her power that was taken away from her. You see, sexual assaults and rape take away a woman's power, and that leaves a psychic wound. They have to act. They have to do something to take it back. Otherwise, they spend their whole life feeling shamed, somehow at fault, wounded, you see. So the woman has to take back her power that was stolen from her. That's what rape is all about. Stealing power, you see, being the one who's in control over nature. I mean, that's a masculine power, control over nature. Women are nature, symbolically, so control over nature, control over women is a patriarchal mythology of power. Even old Yahweh back in the Old Testament wanted control over the land and the people that worshiped the goddess, so his tribe just went in there and wiped them out. You see, no gods, anyway, I don't want to go back there, but as we can see, this has legs for creating a hammer against the old boys club of the Republican Party, all white men, all males, you see. And Judge Cav is like innocent or guilty. He is a person who was groomed from birth, went to a wealthy prep school in Washington, where the boys just raised hell and exercised their arrogance of power, knowing that their fathers would get them off, and who were groomed through their networking to go up the ladder of power, which would maintain the power of that class, power, government by the elite, the wealthy business class, you see. So he is really a role model for that. He's done all the loyalty, all the dirty work, working for Ken Starr against Clinton, and all of these grunt work that's required in the political wars, you see. And he earned his reward, which was judgeships, and he marched up to the peak, you see. Kind of like a Manchurian candidate for the elite, you see. He would maintain their power over nature, over the women, over the gays, over the workers, you see. When presidential power, executive power trumps the law in his mind, you see. So this is all about, this is a greater, the story here, the implications of it are mythic in terms of the battle that we're seeing here. It's kind of like if a butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil, it creates a tornado in Oklahoma. That's the quantum physics idea of everything is interconnected. So this was like a little butterfly flap of the wings. Oh, there was a little letter from somebody who had a grievance about a high school event, you see. And the next thing you know, we got a tornado. And it's going to get bigger. Because if she is refused, if she is denied appearance, the GOP loses. If she is given appearance, they're going to lose. You see. So anyway, I just thought I would work this out with you because I really enjoy putting on a wide-angle lens and watching the narratives that motivate and move us in our society now, because we live in a symbolic society. Everything is symbolic. Nothing is just what it is. Everything points to something, to the social divide. Everything points to the political divisions. Everything points to the real and unreal reality. Everything points to the polarity. So everything feeds into this polarity that we're caught up in, which is kind of like a yin-yang of opposites circling. And so anyway, everything that happens in the media is like a butterfly flapping, and we can watch it become a tornado overnight, a Category 5 tornado. Where did that come from? You see, the social media is the warm water. The internet is the warm water where these hurricanes now brew. You see, and it makes great entertainment. I mean, we love it. I mean, reality is nobody can invent this stuff. A fiction writer couldn't invent our reality. It's so entertaining. Something new every day. Wow. No matter what side you're on, it entertains us. Entertainment means fixing our attention. It fixes our attention. Reality does, because it's all stories. It's all mythic battles of good versus evil. It's all worldwide wrestling. Trump knows that. I mean, he understands the mythology of media. That's why he performs in it so well. It doesn't mean he knows what he's doing. He just knows how wrestling works. And wrestling is an arena where cosmic forces of good and evil battle, you see, like God and the devil, you see, a morality play. So this is kind of like America's morality play. We're caught up in this morality play of good versus evil. And it's very entertaining. And it's enlightening if you can see through the play. It's helpful for me to be able to not believe that the world while wrestling are real wrestlers. Thanks for dropping in.